Hello, my friends. All right, I wanted to check in and talk to you a little bit about the Morning Makeover Challenge. I hope that you're enjoying it so far. If you ordered a kit and you paid for your kit and you're like, wait, how do I access it again? Send me a message. So I set the kit up to live in a password protected place so that you can access it from anywhere, any computer, any phone, any device. So let's say you downloaded it on your phone, but you dropped your phone in the ocean and you're like, oh no, you can still have it from everywhere. So in order to get it, you have to register on the page to get access. And so some people, as I was getting questions about it, I noticed didn't go to that last step. And so if that was you, then shoot me a message and I will quickly send you the link to get in and to get all of that goodness. So let's talk about your morning and what you want to do and some of the mindset tricks that you can use to make this work for you. Now, I'm sure you've heard me say before, I was never a morning person. No, I'm kind of like, I think by nature, like a mid-afternoon type of girl. So for me, this was a process. Like what I created was something that finally worked for me after I tried a bajillion other ways and attempts at sticking with getting up early. So it comes from someone who's not a morning person. I'm not one by nature, but now honestly, it's one of my most favorite parts of the day. I love my mornings. So let me describe to you my morning routine. And know, as part of the challenge, each day you're getting a new thing to add to your routine. So I wanted to ease you in for the challenge and make it a gentle process. And if you should be receiving the email, it's going to tell you how much time you need so that you can prepare the night before. So that 5 minutes of prep time that I sent to you about on day one is everything. It really is. If you skip this step, you're really setting yourself up to fail. So at night, take 5 minutes and choose your stuff for tomorrow. Now, I actually do nighttime prep time that's a little bit longer, but I carve out time just for my morning. And it takes me even less than 5 minutes because you get used to it and it's just easy. You pull from stuff. So the prep that I do, I also check the weather. I review what I have to do for the next day, what time I need to have everybody everywhere and everything done and be somewhere myself. What I have to accomplish for work. And the reason that I look at that all at night is because if I don't, when I go to bed, I'll be wondering about it. I'll be worrying about it. I'll be thinking about it. And if I look at it and I have it on a list ready for tomorrow, that doesn't happen. I can just let that go. And I'm someone who I'm constantly thinking about the next thing I need. I have trouble turning my brain off at night. So to do that prep where I'm writing that stuff down and I'm getting it together or writing myself notes is awesome. So I encourage you to do that prep step with more than just your morning makeover stuff. So I do that prep. Hey Liz, I do that prep, and like I said, to do all of my prep for work stuff and for the kids stuff takes me about 10 minutes. When school starts again, added in there, we'll be just making sure like homework was right. Like I don't need to bake 18 batches of cookies by tomorrow or whatever. I check all of that stuff then before I go to bed. So I just like to be able to take off running in the morning. That just makes me feel better with that stuff. So I do that there. So at night, I queue up my morning meditation. So if you got the kit, you have 3 to choose from. Use one of those, have it ready to go. Or you can just find one. You can have one from something else. Maybe you have a CD with it or an MP3 with it, or you have a favorite one from YouTube. You can search on there too. But you want to find some that you really like, because when you wake up in the morning, you need something that your brain is going to start to engage in listening to. And if you haven't tested it and you don't have a few tried and true ones, if you have something like the person's voice is super annoying, or the meditation isn't good quality, or it's not something that you're finding interesting, you could fall back asleep, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure you have some things that are good, that are going to get you going for the day. Make sure it's a meditation specific for morning, because you don't want to be doing like a sleepy time meditation in the morning. That's not going to go well. The ones that I've made for you in the kit are designed to help you get into that spot specifically in the morning where you are ready to go, where your body feels good, where your mind feels good, all of that. All right, so let me walk you through my morning. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Some people think that's super easy, and some people, super early, and some people don't. So it really just, hey Nicole, it really just depends on, I guess, what time you wake up now. My husband gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I used to sleep for like another hour or so after he left. But it was that sleep where you're just kind of like half asleep, tossing and turning, and you're not really deeply sleeping. And I would feel more tired, I think, just from doing that light sleep for an hour. So at 5 o'clock, I roll over and I turn on my morning meditation. Now I also have my husband, he gets up and gets right in the shower. He makes sure that I'm awake. I need that. I need someone to say, like, have you woken up? I know I would need to, more than because I'm afraid I'll fall asleep, more for the accountability, more so that I have someone to report to. I have to say to him, no, I'm not doing this morning. I'm going back to sleep. So just that accountability is helpful. So I encourage you, if you have a friend that's doing this with you, or if you want to encourage someone to do it with you, or find someone on the page, reach out for a buddy, to connect with someone that you have to check in with. So if you get up at 5 and you're going to do your 10-minute morning meditation, want your accountability buddy to check in on you by like 5:15, 5:20. So maybe you text each other or you send each other a message and you have to respond saying, yes, I'm up. Yes, I'm doing it, or I did it this morning. All right. So think about that too. That's very, very helpful. So as soon as my alarm goes off, I have it queued up. I put on a morning meditation. And I do different ones, but I like to stick with like 3 in a week for a couple of weeks, which is why I gave you 3 in the kit, because I like to be thinking about the same things over and over and over again, to really get a good impact from it. And then I revisit it again. So then I kind of go back to those ones again. And I like to do it that way. So for about 10 minutes, I meditate while lying in bed. And this is 5 o'clock in the morning. It's dark and it's cold. But what starts to happen, because I go right into meditating, I don't have time. My brain doesn't get to that point where it starts to talk me out of it. So one of the things that I do here mindset-wise while I'm turning on my morning meditation is I tell myself, and I don't say I'm tired or I'm sleepy. I say I'm transitioning. Okay, so I'm transitioning from being asleep and my body feeling heavy and my blankets just being so warm and cozy and not wanting to wake up, from wanting to sleep. I'm transitioning from that to awake. Now that might sound little and silly, but let me just tell you, that little switch, instead of going, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I think my body wants me to go back to sleep, I don't think of it that way. I think of it as transitioning from sleep to awake. Again, it might sound silly, a little obvious. These little teeny things will help you, because my brain and my body will tell me that like I need to stay under the covers and go back to sleep. Even if it was like the option was to sleep for 3 more minutes, my brain would always tell me in the morning that I should sleep for those 3 minutes. And it's not good. Before I would do this, I would sleep till the absolute last possible minute, or I would sleep until one of my kids woke me up. Or my dog woke me up, right? And that was just a feeling of, as soon as I woke up, I have to now do something. And that's what you want to avoid in the morning. Okay. So I think of that. I'm transitioning. I say to myself, I'm transitioning from sleep to wake. Not I'm tired, not I'm sleepy. I'm transitioning. And that also sets your brain up to feel like it's ready to start moving towards being awake. So I do my meditation, and listen, while I'm doing it, I'm not fully like alert and awake. I'm sort of in this sleepy kind of, going through sleep and awake state as I'm listening and focusing. But I do very much focus on what the meditation's telling me. This is why you want to do guided meditation in the morning. If you meditate during the day, and I encourage you to meditate as much as possible, and you want to just like not have it guided, just put some nice music on, or have quiet, or sit outside or something, awesome. But it's really, really helpful for your brain to be focusing on these really positive, nice thoughts, and for you to be prompted with questions and things to think about first thing in the morning, because it will help your brain turn on. It will really transition you from asleep to awake in a much easier way. Okay, so I move through that, and then as soon as the meditation ends, I stand up. I don't allow there to be any time in between thinking about the meditation setting, any of that. I stand right up. That to me is another hugely important thing, because it would be easy to do a beautiful meditation and then roll back over. So here I get up. I usually run in and brush my teeth and grab my favorite fuzzy socks and then sometimes a sweatshirt, and I go downstairs. So now my husband's already downstairs by this point. I say good morning to him. He's usually getting ready to leave. And I do 10 minutes of yoga. All right. And this is something that you're going to be doing tomorrow. You'll have this as part of your prep for tonight. So I do my yoga. Sometimes I do it out on my back deck so I can watch the sun come up. That's my favorite spot to do yoga. And sometimes I just do it in my living room next to my favorite window. I just try to do it in a place that just feels good that morning. So, I don't always do it outside, but when I can, I do. Even on mornings, like when it's dark out and the sun isn't coming up while I'm doing my yoga at 5:20, 5:15 in the morning, I still like to be outside. There's something really magical about being outside super early when it's dark and like nothing's started yet and the world is quiet. It's a really cool time to be outside. So I like to do that. I like to hear the birds waking up and just be like, yep, I'm up early with you birds. Let's do this, right? And it's also a time where, because I'm getting up earlier, I don't feel like I should be doing something else, because I still have time to do those other things, because this is additional time for me. So I do my yoga, I come in, I start my coffee. If breakfast is like something I need to cook, I start that. And then I jump right into the shower. So this is going to be different for every person how you do this, but that's where I do that, because the next step is journaling and doing your affirmation. And I also pull angel cards right before I journal as well. And I like to have my coffee ready, and I like to take that time when I'm waiting for my coffee to just shower. Because I'm going to start working and check in with my work stuff after I'm done journaling and saying my affirmation. And I can get stuck doing that, and it's like, oh my gosh, I need to go, and I haven't even showered yet. So I don't fully get ready, but I shower at this point. Just do what works best for you, okay? So then I come downstairs and I journal. I have a prompt, and in the kit you have prompts for journaling. I have a prompt every day that I do, because again, I'm not trying to do deep thinking here. I'm trying to ease into my morning. So I have my coffee and I have my breakfast while I'm journaling. So also before I journal, I pull angel cards for myself. I just say guidance. I don't ask anything specific now. I will later throughout the day. I will refer to them, but this is just general guidance for me. And sometimes they'll help me know the direction to journal in. All right. Sometimes if you don't have anything to journal about, maybe you didn't get the kit, or you just don't feel like doing something specific, you can just journal about what your angel card said and see what comes up. And so I finish my journaling, which I do for 10 minutes. Again, you'll get each of these things to do every day in the challenge. And I say my affirmation a few times. I like to say it at least 3 times. And then I start my day. So here is when I would maybe start to check into work. If my kids have gotten up, they're usually getting up around this time when I'm just finishing. I will get them breakfast. Or I'll start the dishes or laundry or whatever, but this is when or check in with work and start to reply to people. But it's really important that you don't go on social media or don't check your email until after you've done all these steps, because your brain is going to start to go into that stress mode of I have other things to do, and you want to avoid that. So if you're getting up earlier, you're not taking time away from that. You're inserting time for yourself before you do that. And then your cup is filled before it needs to pour into anyone else's glass. And that's really important. So for me, by like 6:15, 6:30, depending on how long I journaled for, sometimes I can journal for a very long time. Sometimes I'm like struggling to get through 10 minutes. It just depends on the day. For however long that is, so like 6:15, 6:30, I have already meditated, done yoga, taken a shower, had my breakfast, had my coffee, journaled, and said my affirmation. And so now whatever else is happening, that's already done. And as I go throughout my day, I'm thinking back on those things and using that time to sort of fuel me. Now I get asked a lot, well, aren't you tired? You get up so early. I have way more energy doing it this way than if I slept for another hour or hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours if I'm lucky and the kids don't get up till 7. I have way more energy this way. I am conscious of bedtime. Like I do try to be conscious, but people ask me what time I go to bed a lot. Usually around 11 is what time I like to go to bed. It's just naturally how my body is ready. And that's plenty of rest for me, but it's different for every human. Like maybe you need more than that. Maybe you need less. But for me, if I do it and I ease into my morning this way, there's still so much care there that I'm able to be alert and awake. And I've gotten so much more done and it feels better. I don't feel like I'm trying to catch my day and run 90 miles an hour at tasks. I feel like I've started and I've got myself in a good place, and then that I have time to then address all of those things that I want to do and I have to do. Another important thing that I do is I make sure I know what time I need to leave by. So if I'm leaving the house to go to work or to bring the kids to school, or if I have to be ready for an appointment, if it's on video or like a Zoom chat, then I will know what time I want to be all ready to go. And so that I'm constantly keeping that in my mind when I'm planning my morning. All right. And sometimes you just think, well, I have to be here at 9. You want to be thinking like, well, I have to leave at 8:30. So I want to be fully ready by 8:20. And just having that in your mind is just another great tip. So I'd love to hear how you're doing with it. I'd love to hear what you think. If you've got the kit, I'd love to know, what some of your favorites are after you've done some of them, what you did this morning. And then at night I fall asleep to a sleep meditation, which are also in your kit. Affirmations are in your kit, all that good stuff. So what I do is I get into bed. After I did my 5-minute prep, I get into bed. I watch TV in bed. Some people think that's bad. I don't know. This is how I need to shut off. And then when I'm starting to feel sleepy, when I feel like I'm getting close to falling asleep, I turn the TV off and I turn a sleep meditation on. And usually depending on what kind of phone you have, you can make it so that there's a sleep timer on your phone. So if it's on a playlist, it will just stop after your meditation. And so I'll listen to my sleep meditation as I fall asleep. And it's great. It's fine if you don't make it all the way through your meditation. That's totally okay. That's good. That means you fell asleep in a really great state of mind. And you'll direct your thoughts as you're dreaming and what you're working through with the work that you did as you were falling asleep. And that's super, super helpful. And it's also going to make you feel a lot more rested. And you're going to sleep better when you fall asleep to a sleep meditation. My husband does it now with me, because the sleep meditation's on, and he says the same thing. So even if you're like, I don't know, try it. I'm telling you, it makes a big difference. I just feel so much more productive this way. I feel like I am just like ready to go. I actually look forward to morning. So, at night when you're like, oh crap, I should go to bed because I got to get up early, but you just want to stay up. Usually because you didn't probably get enough me time during the day and you're trying to get it at night, or there's a really great show on Netflix. Because I look forward to morning, especially sitting in the journaling is just so juicy and fun and feels luxurious to sip your coffee and journal with no one talking to you. I look forward to it. So like at night, I'm like, I'm ready. And I used to stay up like super late to do these things if I didn't get them in during the day. And I just find that my behavior personally at night is a lot more destructive than it is in the morning. So like at night, I'll fill up my bowl and have another bowl of chips. And I'll have a cocktail. Sure, absolutely. And not that those are terrible things, but if I'm going to bed earlier, I'm doing less of that. And in the morning, I'm not going to do those things. Maybe I have an extra cup of coffee, but I'm still doing things that are better. And it's just a better use of my time to go to sleep a little bit earlier and get up a little bit earlier. Hopefully that makes sense. So keep me posted on how you're doing. I hope this helps. I hope you love this as much as I do. It's fun.